Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking the core concepts from Richard Nelson Jones's practical counseling and helping skills and turning them into a practical toolkit for you. We're going to unpack how professionals actually help others, moving way beyond the usual cliches of just nodding, listening, and asking how you feel. Instead, we're going to build a framework to help you truly understand the mechanics of human behavior. So let's dive right in. We all want to be there for our friends and family when they're struggling, right? But what actually makes a truly effective helper? Is it just about dishing out great advice? Or, I don't know, acting like some sort of psychological archaeologist, constantly digging into someone's deep, dark past? Well, it turns out counseling is actually a psychological process that focuses on developing specific life skills to change how people feel, think, and act. It's literally an educational process. The end goal here? Building up a client's life skills so they can eventually become their own best helper. We aren't just putting a Band-Aid on a single problem, we're teaching the skills needed to tackle all future problems head-on. Here's how we're going to build your psychological toolkit today. We'll move beyond just giving advice, look at problems versus problematic skills, unpack the elements of communication, master your mind skills, and finally wrap up with the professional framework, the 3-stage RUC model. All right, Section 1, beyond just giving advice, the life skills approach. Moving right into Section 2, problems versus problematic skills, the paradigm shift. Okay, we really need a paradigm shift on what it actually means to solve a problem. We've got to look past isolated issues and focus on the mechanics, the problematic skills themselves. Picture an immediate problem. Let's say a couple, Mary and Jeff, are arguing over whether to move to a new house. A traditional approach might just help them list the pros and cons of moving. But a counselor, they wouldn't just tell Mary and Jeff whether to pack up and move. Instead, they look at the underlying problematic skill, like poor communication or the demanding rules fueling those heated arguments, and help fix that friction at its source. And why is that distinction absolutely crucial? Because if we only fix the immediate problem and ignore the skills, people fall right into what's called the repetition phenomenon. This happens when individuals constantly repeat the same self-defeating behaviors across time, which we call vertical repetition, or across totally different situations, known as horizontal repetition. Basically, if you don't fix the underlying skill, they're just going to keep repeating the exact same patterns at home, at work, or really over their entire lifespan. Which brings us to Section 3, the elements of communication, building external tools. To stop this endless loop, we first need to look at our external toolkit, specifically how we communicate our thoughts and feelings to the world around us. And to do this effectively, we send messages using the VAPOR acronym: volume, articulation, pitch, emphasis, and rate. Whether you're speaking super loudly, highlighting a nuance with heavy emphasis, or maybe just controlling the speed of your words and pauses, these elements completely dictate how your words are actually received, regardless of what you think you're saying. I absolutely love this quote from the text. A person's vocal messages can speak volumes about what they truly feel and how emotionally responsive they are to others' feelings. It's a great reminder that our vocal tone, along with body communication like posture and eye contact, usually gives away our true emotional state. You might say you're totally fine, but your VAPOR framework might be loudly broadcasting that you're actually incredibly anxious or upset. Next up, Section 4, mastering your mind skills, the engine of change. So we've looked at the external communication, but now we've got to pop the hood and look at the engine, the internal behaviors that dictate everything else. The text outlines this incredibly powerful framework called STC, situation, thoughts, and consequences. The situation is the activating event. Your thoughts, those are your internal rules, perceptions, self-talk, and visual images. And the consequences are your feelings, physical reactions, and external communication. The real game changer here is realizing that our consequences, like feeling super anxious or suddenly lashing out at a coworker, aren't caused directly by the situation itself, but by the thoughts mediating right in the middle. Let's take a look at how we create rules for ourselves, for example. Demanding rules, like saying, "I must be the perfect trainee," or "I must always be in control," set us up for what the author brilliantly calls awfulizing. It leads to severe distress when reality inevitably doesn't meet those rigid demands. On the flip side, preferential rules, like, "Hey, I'd prefer to be highly competent, but I'm learning and I'm bound to make mistakes," those actually allow us to cope rationally with reality. And man, the way we talk to ourselves changes absolutely everything. Negative self-talk just panics. Help, I'm gonna make a total mess of this interview. I can't cope. That practically guarantees a bad consequence. But coping self-talk acknowledges the stress and actually manages it. It sounds more like, I'm anxious, sure, but I can calm down, take a deep breath, and just do my best. Shifting from negative self-talk to coping self-talk immediately changes the physical and emotional outcome of a stressful situation. Mastering your mind means you have to develop a whole suite of skills. Essential mind skills include creating accurate perceptions, which means dodging that trap of black and white thinking. It means creating helpful visual images instead of visualizing catastrophic failures. It's about creating accurate explanations, so you actually know when to internalize or externalize blame. And finally, creating realistic expectations that focus on your competence and your ability to cope. It's a very active, highly conscious process. All right, bringing it all home with Section 5, the 3-stage RUC model, the professional blueprint. Now that we've got our communication and mind tools sorted out, let's look at the actual blueprint professionals use to bring the whole shebang together. The life skills counseling process follows a chronological model to give structure to helping someone. Stage 1 is the relating stage, Stage 2 is the understanding stage, and Stage 3 is the changing stage. Let's break down exactly what goes on in each of these. So the counselor's job is broken down into some pretty precise tasks here. In the relating stage, they first build trust and form a collaborative working relationship by facilitating disclosure. Then, moving into the understanding stage, they collaboratively pinpoint those problematic skills we talked about earlier, doing a bit of reconnaissance and agreeing on a shared analysis of the real problem. Finally, in the changing stage, they deliver interventions to improve those skills and set the client up for self-helping down the road. And here it is. The absolute most vital takeaway from this entire explainer. True helping isn't about creating dependency. It's definitely not about having a client rely on a counselor forever. No, it's about skilling people up so they can maintain their own positive changes long after the sessions wrap up. The ultimate goal of counseling is self-helping, so that former clients become their very own best counselors. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If you mapped out your own daily stresses using that STC framework, how are your mind skills looking? Take a good look at your own inner rulebook and self-talk this week and ask yourself, are your life skills actually helping you or are they holding you back? And ultimately, are you ready to become your own best counselor? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.